Right now, it's the first weekday with the Metro's new bus rapid transit system, what drivers now need to be aware of on the roads. Also, a suspect in custody after some local businesses are damaged on State Street, what police are telling us. And later, our Three for the People series shifts focus toward the Middle East, specifically the U.S. foreign relationship with Israel and Palestine, what candidates are saying they would do about the conflict if elected. We welcome you to News 3 now at 6. Today is the first weekday with Metro's new bus rapid transit system, and that means drivers will have to follow some new rules of the road. Right now, the system is wrapping up its first evening rush hour. For more on what to expect on our roads, we have team coverage of what drivers need to know. We start with Maddie Heimsch live from one of those new bus stops. Maddie?
Hey, Eric. Yeah, like you said, that first rush hour, I'm at the High Point bus stop, and so far what we've seen, everything seems to be rolling out pretty smoothly. We've been here since a little bit before 4. It's obviously gotten busier as time has gone on, but they have some of these features to make things go so smoothly and efficiently. One of them, you can see up there, that electric sign telling you when the next bus is coming, where it's heading, how close it is to you. And then we have this fast fare machine where you can get the new fast fare passes. I have one right here, and it's so that you can tap it when you hop on the bus, getting that rapid. The bus keeps moving. You tap it to hop on. You can get these passes at most Madison libraries. You can stop by the Metro Transit office that's on East Wash, or you can sign up on cityofmadison.com to get one mailed to you. I want to toss a map up on the screen. This is the Rapid Route A, that red line that's in service today. It goes from Junction Road to the Sun Prairie Park and Ride. So that's the one that's moving today. We talked to one UW-Madison student who took it around lunchtime today. Here are his thoughts.
It's faster and more convenient. So has a screen to remind the time the bus gonna come.
How long was your ride this morning?
Around 25 minutes. I think it's gonna be shorter than before.
Yeah, and like I said, around 6, it's getting a little busier. That rush hour kind of coming and going. We're seeing some more people getting on and off. But again, everything seems to be rolling out pretty smoothly. But it's not just riders and bus drivers adjusting to these changes. As you've probably seen driving around Madison, those red lanes, the bus stops and the medians, drivers who don't take the bus are having to adjust too. And our Merrill Hubbard is out on the road checking out how traffic is holding up at this rush hour. Hey, Merrill.
Hey, Maddie. Yeah, we are on Mineral Point Road, and it's a very busy road. We have lots of the BRT stations. I know it's a little bit sunny out, but there's lots of the lanes out here and tons of stations. And earlier today, we were out here to talk to Metro Transit people and also some local car driving instructors to see how they're navigating through the new BRT.
We know that's kind of confusing, and it's a lot of just getting used to things out there.
Though there are city workers helping people at the stations, regular drivers are figuring out how to navigate BRT on their own.
The lanes are now well marked. We have a lot of signage out there. There is red pavement in the lanes we're asking people not to drive in.
Even some of the most experienced drivers need time to adjust.
This is kind of new to me. Like it is to everybody else.
Ed Wright owns Pan American Driving School and has been teaching driver's ed off and on for 40 years. We got behind the wheel to see how drivers are shifting gears.
It's pretty clearly marked where the dotted lines are. That's where you're supposed to move into the bus lane before this solid red part here starts.
Ed says to stay calm and pay attention to the lanes.
But you're not supposed to drive in the bus lane, but of course I don't suggest you swerve out in front of another car either.
It will take some adjustment to roll smooth and steady, and Metro Transit says they are giving people that wiggle room before they consider enforcement.
We are just in an education phase. We know this is a lot of new things for everybody. We're working close with the police department and traffic enforcement, but we are not looking to issue tickets.
Yeah, like Mick said, you won't be getting a ticket if you're driving in the red lane accidentally right now. So it is a good time to get practice and make a habit of driving in the right lane. So we're gonna go back to Eric. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Back to Eric.
All right, Merrill and Maddie, thank you. Southern Wisconsin got some of that much needed rain over the weekend. Let's check first one forecast now. Blaze tells us we got any more coming.
That's right. We could squeeze out some light showers this evening. We are tracking maybe just 1 or 2 across the area, but I think from here through at least the end of next weekend, we stay primarily dry. Other than some scattered showers even into your Tuesday, it's not looking like that widespread heavy rain that we got here over the last few days. We'll take you out to Freeman. That's where we do see a little shower activity beginning to cross more or less over into extreme southern Vernon County. That would be one of our showers. And then off towards Lake Geneva, this may be some shower activity outside of Johnstown, north of Darien. This also might just be radar clutter. It's been kind of sitting over that area, but we'll just touch on it nonetheless. Farther south and east this evening, you're seeing it there on Future Track. That's the best chance for that shower activity, light to moderate, 1/4 of an inch to maybe 1/2 an inch at best. Again, we are not going to see the rainfall rates of 1/2 an inch per hour out of these showers, not only this evening, but into your Tuesday as well. Here's a look at weather across southern Wisconsin in your neighborhood. Still seeing mostly sunny to partly sunny conditions with temperatures in the 60s. We're going to track out how a tropical system in the Caribbean right now could impact us here in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. A silver alert is out for a missing man from Dane County Sheriff's Office. Ask if you're helping finding 65-year-old Timothy Campbell. He lives in a group home on Loper Road. That's in the town of Roxbury, and authorities say Saturday evening, about 6:30 is the last time anyone saw him. He could possibly be wearing a gray jacket and gray or red sweatpants. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says he tends to go to the Sauk City and Lodi areas. If you see him, you're asked to call the Dane County Sheriff's Office. The number there at the bottom of your screen is 608-284-6840. Madison police say they've arrested a man in connection with vandalism on State Street. Early this morning, officers found several smashed windows along the street. Police then found a 31-year-old man with a brick in his hands between West Gorham and West Johnson. He now faces charges of felony damage to property, felony bail jumping, and second-degree recklessly endangering safety. The 2 businesses damaged were Metric Forest Studio and Little Luxuries. Metric Forest was set to hold a grand opening this Friday. Former President Donald Trump returns to Wisconsin this weekend. Trump will be holding a rally in Prairie du Chien on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. He'll be speaking at the Prairie du Chien Area Arts Center. There, Donald Trump plans to talk about the border and immigration. If you'd like to sign up for the event, we have a link to do so. You can find it at channel3000.com. Our Coats for Kids campaign looking to keep the momentum going after eclipsing 1,000 donations. News 3 Now is teaming up with Clinky Cleaners, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and Magic 98 to try to collect 5,000 coats. Here's the latest update. We're at 1,038 coats. It's a good number, but we still have a long way to go. If you'd like to donate, you have until October 5th to do so. Just take any new or gently used coat, hat, mittens, snow pants, other winter outerwear to any area Clinky Cleaners location, and there they'll take it off your hands and clean it for free. Now, if you don't have a winter coat, you can still help by buying a coat off the Coats for Kids Amazon wish list. You can find a link to that at channel3000.com/Coats for Kids. Coming up, Americans will soon be able to get free COVID test kits again, where you can get yours. Plus, the FDA giving a green light to an at-home version of the flu vaccine. How this newly approved vaccine works after a short break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
I'm attorney David Gruber. If you've been seriously injured, trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped.
So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away.
Even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
Please, think about me.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Now women are being refused life-saving care at hospitals. And politicians are trying to ban birth control.
Please, think about me.
My parents call me their miracle daughter because I was born with IVF.
But IVF could be banned too.
Do they think we're less than human?
Do they think we can't make decisions about our own bodies? About our own lives? When you vote, please think about me.
And me.
and me.
Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade, he couldn't care less.
The final sprint to Election Day is on, and News 3 Now this morning is focused on the races and the policies that matter to you, the voter.
We're taking a look at both sides of the issues and where the candidates stand so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
There is a new weapon against the flu approved by the FDA now. It is the first needle-free flu vaccine, and it can be administered right in your own home. Flu Mist is a nasal spray. It's been used to protect against flu in the U.S. since 2003. It's currently available with a prescription in pharmacies and other healthcare settings for those ages 2 to 49 who are not pregnant. The vaccine contains a live but weakened version of the virus, so it's not for everybody.
So there are certain conditions that are not able to take the flu mist, such as if you're on immune-related medications that suppress your immune system, you have HIV, and there's some particular immune-related issues that you'd have to talk to your physician or your clinician to make sure that that vaccine is right for you.
Now, the 2023-24 season, CDC estimates that there were at least 35 million flu-related illnesses, 400,000 hospitalizations, and 25,000 deaths. And you'll soon be able to order free COVID test kits. That's according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The agency has not yet given an exact date when ordering can begin. It's supposed to happen, though, before the end of this month. You'll order them through the covidtest.gov website. And once you place that order, the Postal Service will ship it directly to your home. Each house can order as many as 4 test kits. And HHS says you'll be able to use them through the end of this calendar year. So ahead on News 3 Now at 6, our 3 for the People series continues on issues that voters want us to focus on. Coming up, we look at the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, the role the U.S. is playing, and how the election could shape its outcome. That's next. And we could see the rain return later tonight, how much you could expect when we come back.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale, so when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Brian Style worked to overturn Roe v. Wade, called it a great victory.
Brian Stiles' victory banned abortion in Wisconsin, and his agenda would ban it nationwide, with surveillance of pregnancies and restricting birth control and fertility treatments. Peter Barca fights to protect our freedoms, not tear them away.
He backs Wisconsin's law enforcement, firefighters, and unions.
And Peter does what's right no matter what party it is.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
We wanted to be able to enjoy all 4 seasons, and patio enclosures helped us make that dream come true.
The one and only patio enclosures.
This election is about 2 very different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. When the middle class is strong, America is strong. Lowering the cost of living will be a defining goal of my presidency. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone, and I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food. More than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut. We will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. Together, we will build an economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Now is the time to chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
We're continuing our Three for the People series this week, delving into issues that you felt were important as you plan to vote in the election. 43 days away now. And this week, Arman Rahman has more on the Israel-Hamas war, the U.S. foreign policy on Israel and Palestine, and what both presidential candidates promised to do if elected. Arman?
Eric, has been perhaps the most hot-button issue this election season that has had little to do with the day-to-day life of U.S. voters at all. But when Hamas, the Palestinian militant group governing Gaza, that the U.S. labels as a terrorist organization, bombed Israel last October, it exploded into a war that has created divides among voters here at home.
Look at what's going on in the Middle East.
When asked about the war between Israel and Hamas, you can almost guess exactly how the candidates will start their answer.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
We all have to fight for Israel.
Stalwart ally, unwavering support for Israel.
UW-Madison political scientist John Peavyhouse says that language is no coincidence.
The U.S. was and has always been, well, at least since the 1950s, incredibly close to the state of Israel. There's been tensions, but the historic roots of that relationship lie somewhat in the support of the Jewish American population.
The region has been raging with conflict, outside entities dividing the land, and displacement of the Palestinian people for decades. Peavyhouse says historically, U.S. presidents have been critical of the Israeli government.
You think about 1956, the Suez Crisis. Eisenhower did not take the side of Israel in that. Even until the 1980s, the Bush administration, the late 1980s, the H.W. Bush administration stopped loaning money to Israel.
And before Hamas's attack last October 7th, Peavyhouse says there was no love lost between President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
There's been a lot of concern in the Biden administration, especially among the Democratic Party, about how much are there limits to that support as we've seen the humanitarian disaster unfold. Most folks in Washington, in and out of the government, favor a two-state solution between Palestinians and Israelis.
If that's the case, shouldn't both candidates see eye to eye? He says it's not that simple.
The choices between someone barely wanted to talk to the Palestinian side while he was president and someone who at least has rhetorically said, they want to listen to that and try to honor as much as they can without sacrificing Israeli security.
While Trump boasts strong support and a close relationship with Netanyahu, in April, the former president said Israel is, quote, losing the PR war in Gaza and was unprepared for Hamas's attack. That came after Netanyahu acknowledged Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
We protected Israel. We made peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords.
In 2020, Trump's administration helped mediate the Abraham Accords, agreements signed by Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Sudan, recognizing Israel's sovereignty.
He presented that solution to the Palestinians without talking to them, right? He did not consult with them whatsoever, and it kind of fell short of statehood for them. So he's kind of already on record as really not that interested in a two-sovereign state solution in the region.
Harris, on the other hand, has only been second in command during the recent escalation.
I think Arab Americans, concern about Harris is that she will just continue the Biden policies, sort of unquestioningly following Israel.
But many Arab Americans and those strongly against the U.S.'s support of Israel due to the bloodshed the war is causing in Gaza and the West Bank voted uninstructed in the primary when Biden was the candidate, a potential challenge for Democrats now in a neck-and-neck race in many swing states.
It's not so much that they'd vote for Trump, but that they just wouldn't go vote at all. 2% of a population not showing up is a problem, right, for the Harris campaign.
Now, coming up tomorrow, I'll have more from a Palestinian living in Madison and how the candidate's promises about the war are pushing her to vote.
Arman, thank you. After some rain over the weekend, let's see if there's more in the forecast. Here's Blaze in the first warn forecast.
A little bit of rain can be expected tonight, but the best chance for rain is actually going to hold off to maybe next weekend. We'll talk about that. A very similar situation to what we saw with Francine a few weeks ago, if not maybe a month ago, is going to maybe set up as we head into later parts of next week. For now, though, just tracking some light to moderate shower activity this evening and into your Tuesday as well. Similar places tonight could expect some of those on and off showers as we go into your Tuesday as well. Not a lot of green on the map, so not everyone is going to see them. You can download the First Warn weather app to track out those showers in real time as we're going throughout your Tuesday. But notice a lot of us farther south and east, kind of underneath the best chance for those scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. The reason is because that center of low pressure is closer to you than everybody else. But the big area of low pressure that we have our eyes on for many different reasons is spinning off north and east of Honduras right now, between them and Jamaica. Latest cone of uncertainty takes what will become most likely Hurricane Helene, make her a Category 3 hurricane Thursday before making landfall and then moving backwards, retrograding here into the Midwest. Now, Francine took a very similar path. She was not as strong, but there was one really big difference, which was with Francine, there was a big area of high pressure over us, which kept a lot of her moisture to our south. This time, we don't have that area of high pressure, but the jet stream is backed up because of that low pressure system spinning in the Atlantic. So once Helene makes landfall and breaks down, probably Friday, if not into early Saturday, some of her energy gets trapped here across parts of Texas. That's going to be pushed north and eastwards as the jet stream just gets backed up by a series of low pressure systems that just cannot move beyond the East Coast. So that means that anything back behind it can't move eastward. So that's why we could be dealing with some rain, some clouds, some cooler air from Sunday through Monday into Tuesday, possibly into Wednesday, especially if this low pressure system coming out of Canada absorbs that leftover energy, kind of spins on itself for maybe a day or so, and then moves on out as we look to the second half of your following work week. Models are continuing to keep a lot of that moisture, though, still to our south. If we were able to drag this out further into maybe Wednesday and Thursday, we might see more of a rainfall falling across, especially extreme southern Wisconsin. But again, this is going to be our best chance for more of that soaking rain, like kind of what we saw maybe Thursday and Friday of last week, not waking up Sunday where we got 3 inches of rain in 6 hours here in the Madison area. 60s and 70s for your Tuesday. Again, scattered showers will be possible farther south and east, but there's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're back into nearly the 80s Thursday and Friday. Clouds and rain move in as we head into next weekend.
And still to come in sports, the Badgers are headed west for LA this weekend with a new starting quarterback. We talk about Braden Locke next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud
proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
In Luke Fickell's coaching career, he had only dealt with one injured quarterback before coming to Wisconsin. Now he's lost his starter in back-to-back years, but says there is one saving grace. Just like last year, Braden Locke steps in at quarterback, the same guy who set the Texas State record for touchdowns in high school and led the Badgers to some big-time wins last year.
So a lot of his experiences give him, me, and a lot of the guys around him, a lot more confidence because he was thrust into some really tough situations even last year. And more than anything, it comes down to him having those experiences of playing, getting thrust into an Iowa game and then going and playing against an Ohio State and preparing the way that he had to prepare to play and puts him right back into that position.
The Packers are 2-0 under Malik Willis, who has been magnificent in Jordan Love's absence. But at some point, Green Bay's $220 million man has got to return from his MCL sprain. It's only been a couple of weeks, but the Packers still really haven't provided a timetable. He could need one more week to recover, but there is a real chance we see him out there this weekend in a crucial division opener against the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, we'll see. I mean, again, I think anybody that saw what happened to him, I mean, that's a legitimate injury. So, he's working through it. He's doing everything in his power. He wants to be out there, and, we want him out there.
Wisconsin volleyball lost 3 straight matches to open the season, albeit all against top 6 teams in the country, but have responded with a 6-match winning streak heading into conference play. As great as it is to win, Kelly Sheffield says that losing streak might have taught them more. They played the best of the best and assessed themselves and improved against their other competition. So, about that winning streak?
Oh, it's nice, but we also haven't been playing the top 6 teams in the country, So, I mean, we're trying to win every match. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But we're also trying to learn and grow, and those things are really, really important. We want to be great at the end of season.
Well, speaking of great, Sarah Franklin has been that and then some. She was named the Big Ten's Player of the Week this week. That comes after a dominant 3-match stretch that included breaking the program's single-game kills record. That was 33 kills. The Badgers, again, have won 6 straight. Heading into conference play, they start that with Minnesota on Tuesday.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Let's go to Blaze. Final check of the forecast.
Yeah, tracking just a few isolated showers tonight. You can track them on our interactive radar. You can take it down to the street level on your mobile device, the First Warn weather app, and take it with you tomorrow as well, because we can still see a few lingering showers. But then we dry out and warm up, flirting with the 80s to end this week.
All right, Blaze, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6, folks. Have a great evening, and we'll be back here tonight for News 3 Now at 10.